Hello, my name is Lisa, and I will take you through culture differences in negotiation. As we've seen in our discussions in class or coming across different articles, we've seen that negotiation is a discussion between two parties that are aimed at reaching an agreement with mutual interest. And it is very important that when we are conducting international business deals or international negotiations, people have to know that these negotiations are not only taking place across borders, but they're also taking place across cultures. And culture is one aspect that really influences how people think, how people talk, how people behave, how they negotiate, and even how they perform transactions. So, no matter how an expert you are in negotiation, you have to really familiarize yourself with these different culture aspects that can differ from one place to the other. So, going straight to the factors that influence negotiation when it comes to different cultural settings, I would first of all start with the goal, the negotiating goal. Is it contract or relationship? We've seen that some cultures would want to keep a relationship later on, even after the negotiation, while some cultures are only strict and forward to the contract. We do what brought us here, we're done. No relationship after here. So Americans like the contract way, while Japanese have been seen to be like more of looking forward to relationship, and Asians mostly. Then negotiation attitude. Is it a win-lose or a win-win situation? Excuse me. We've seen some cultures take negotiation as a win-win situation, as an opportunity to solve a problem and later on build collaboration, whilst cultures which take this as a win-lose take it as a confrontational opportunity. And we've seen that most Japanese usually try to make it as a win-win situation, while Spanish, for example, would take it more as a win-lose situation. Most of them, according to the research that was done. Then personal style, is it informal or formal? So it is very important for one to actually know that what kind of negotiation or meeting are they going to? Is it a formal one or is it an informal one? Because sometimes people tend to get into a meeting, then they start talking about the personal lives, while somebody wants to just go straight to the deal, get done and leave. Also, when it comes to informal, it's not just about what you talk, it's not about what you wear, but also how you address people. Do you address them by their titles or you address them by their second names? Some people would take that as an offense when you address them by the first name without the title. For example, Dr. Lisa, and you call me Lisa. So Japanese are really strict to the formal title. I mean formal style. While Americans are really most of the times are informal. Communication, is it direct or indirect? So some cultures you find that people are quite direct. What they say, they'll say yes or no, or they'll just go straight to the point. While some cultures, people are quite indirect. Japanese, for example, they've been seen as people who can tell you something or can give you a body reaction that you think that they're still considering your point, but they've actually rejected your deal. Well, in the case of Egypt and Israel during the Camp David Treaty, it was seen that Egyptians viewed Israelis as quite aggressive because of how they were direct, while Israeli also saw them as not sincere. Why were they taking their time to bring matters on the table? So we find that some people are direct while others are indirect. Then sensitivity to time. Is it high or low? In this case, we've seen that most Latin Americans, Spanish, Africans are known to be late in most cases. But it is very important when you're in a different culture, you get to know that this person does not really value time or this person values time. So the Germans, you have to be punctual. And also when it comes to sensitivity to time, they also, some cultures would want to get the deal done really quickly, while some take their time, they think through. Well, some just want to get done with the deal. Then emotionalism, is it high or low? So some communities are quite emotional, and we've seen that Latin Americans, for example, have been seen that they show the emotions more, while For example, Japanese counterparts share their emotions less, but this is an aspect that has to be put in mind, that it also varies among individuals. So it's more of a personal thing. Somebody can be more emotional and can be less emotional than somebody else. So form of agreement, is it general or specific? So there are some people who actually their agreements are quite general, like it just talks about general principles without specific rules, while some people proceed to specific items, like when are you going to deliver this, how much is the price, and whatnot. So you also need to know uh, the kind of agreement you're getting yourself into, because most English people have been seen like they favor the general agreements, while Japanese and the Germans favor specific agreements. Then we come to the building an agreement. Is it bottom up or top down? So this type of bottom up or top down is the one that, first of all, starts with an agreement on on general principles, then proceeds to the specific items, as I had mentioned earlier, while the top down starts with it starts with specific items, then comes to the agreement on general principles. So French are most likely most French, Argentinians, Indians are most likely to like the top down procedure, while Japanese, Mexicans, Brazilians like the bottom up process. Then we come to team organization. So is it one leader or group consensus? You see, like Americans would come to the table, they can pay like maximum of two or maybe three, let me say, for example. That is, they take few people, while Japanese can even come 10 to the table. But at the end of the day, they have one person who is going to speak on behalf, but they all participate in this negotiation process. So it differs. Some like one leader, or some like teamwork. Then the last one, but not least, is risk taking. Is it high or low? So we see that some people are ready to take risk, while some are not ready to take risk. So they don't rush the negotiation process. They devote attention to proposing rules and mechanisms. They also make sure that the counterpart has sufficient information about themselves, their company, the purpose of the deal. They focus efforts on building relationship, consider restructuring the deal so that deal proceeds step by step in a series. Well, some, no, this is not the case. So we see that in this context, Japanese are the most risk averse, while most Americans are less risk takers. And going to my next slide, I'm trying to be quick to rush with time. So I also try to consider other cultural factors that may matter in different contexts. And in this context, I try to pick the African context, whereby gender can matter. Most of the times in African context, being a patriarchal society, and though things are really changing nowadays slowly, but gender, when most people see a man, of course, he's going to be given more attention to when they see a woman. Then we have language. When you know the language, the better you can master the negotiation process. When they know that you can speak their language, they even build trust and they even take it more friendly. Then background. Who are you? Why are you here? What do you work for? So they will try to get all sorts of information about you. They look at your social status, position, income. So all these matter when you come to influence people during negotiation in Africa. Then we also have dress code. So you need to dress well, especially if you're going in a group of really African people. You have to dress decently, because when you go like with a short skirt, you love short. For them, they want to understand that you like wearing short stuff. For them, they'll take you as however they want to. And age, of course, we live in a culture where mostly they would take age as something as wisdom. The older you are, the wiser you are. So age is also another aspect. And I gave an example of a video, Blood Diamond, whereby we see that in the aspect of language, for example, Leonardo DiCaprio was trying to negotiate with Commander Zero, who at the end of the day, Leonardo DiCaprio wanted to get diamonds. So he had to change his accent. He had to speak in a certain dialect that he can be able to communicate with the commander so that he can get what he wanted at the end of the day. I've shared the link on my PowerPoint, and thank you so much. I was trying to talk so fast. Thank you.